In 1930, India's struggle for independence from British rule reached a turning point. Mohandas Gandhi, a leader revered for his wisdom and commitment to non-violence, launched a movement that would capture the world's attention, the Salt March. This simple act of defiance, a march to the sea to make salt without paying the British tax, became a defining moment in India's fight for freedom. It ignited the spirit of a nation and challenged the very foundation of British colonial power. Gandhi's strategy was a powerful combination of symbolic action and mass mobilization. He understood the deep resonance that salt held in Indian society. It was an essential part of their diet, a symbol of life itself. By challenging the British monopoly on salt, Gandhi was striking at the heart of their economic control and exposing the injustice faced by ordinary Indians. The Salt March was not just about salt, it was about dignity, self-reliance, and the right of a people to govern themselves. For centuries, salt had been freely available along India's vast coastline. Yet under British rule, the Indian people were forbidden from collecting or producing their own salt. They were forced to buy it from the British, who held a complete monopoly on its production and sale. This salt tax was not just an economic burden, it was a symbol of colonial oppression. Imagine being taxed for something as basic as salt, a necessity for life itself. The tax disproportionately affected the poorest Indians, who relied on salt to preserve food and supplement their meager diets. Gandhi recognized the deep injustice of this tax. He saw it as a moral imperative to challenge this unjust law and awaken the conscience of the world to the plight of the Indian people. On March 12, 1930, Gandhi embarked on his legendary march from his ashram in Sabarmati to the coastal village of Dandi, Gujarat. He was joined by a small group of followers, but as they walked, their numbers swelled. People from all walks of life, farmers, students, teachers, women and children joined the procession, drawn to Gandhi's message of non-violent resistance. The march, covering over 240 miles, was a testament to the power of collective action. It was a journey fraught with challenges, scorching heat, dusty roads, and the constant threat of British reprisal. Yet Gandhi and his followers marched on, their spirits undeterred. They held daily prayer meetings, sang patriotic songs, and interacted with villagers along the way, spreading their message of resistance far and wide. The Salt March was a journey of both physical and spiritual endurance, a powerful symbol of India's determination to break free from colonial rule. Section 4. A Grain of Resistance. Gandhi's symbolic act. On April 6, 1930, after 24 days of walking, Gandhi and his followers reached the shores of Dandi. In a simple yet profoundly symbolic act of defiance, Gandhi bent down and picked up a handful of salt from the beach. With this gesture, he broke the British salt law and ignited a nationwide movement of civil disobedience. Across India, millions heeded Gandhi's call. They began making their own salt, refusing to pay the British tax. The act of making salt, once mundane and commonplace, became a revolutionary act, a symbol of resistance against British rule. The British response was swift and brutal. Thousands were arrested, including Gandhi himself. But the movement had taken on a life of its own. The Salt March had ignited the spirit of a nation and inspired a new generation of freedom fighters. Section 5, The World Takes Notice, Repression and Recognition. The British authorities, taken aback by the scale and intensity of the Salt March, resorted to violence and repression. They lathi-charged peaceful protesters, imprisoned thousands, and censored news reports. However, their attempts to crush the movement only fueled its growth. The world watched in awe as images of peaceful Indian protesters being beaten by British police were splashed across newspapers globally. The Salt March brought international attention to the Indian struggle for independence. It exposed the brutality of British colonialism and garnered sympathy and support for the Indian cause from people around the world. The march was a turning point not just for India, but for the global movement against colonialism. Section 6. The Legacy of Salt, Marching for Justice, Then and Now. Gandhi's Salt March was a triumph of non-violent resistance. It demonstrated the power of ordinary people to challenge injustice and bring about political change without resorting to violence. The march was a testament to the power of truth, courage, and determination. The legacy of the Salt March extends far beyond the borders of India. It inspired countless other movements for civil rights and social justice around the world, from the American Civil Rights Movement, led by Martin Luther King Jr., to the anti-apartheid struggle in South Africa. Gandhi's message of satyagraha, of fighting injustice through non-violent resistance, continues to resonate today, reminding us that even the most powerful empires can be challenged by the will of the people.